Okay. Folks, I'd like to just throw it open to the group. Whoever wants to jump in first, tell me, why do you think Ron DeSantis has gotten so much attention, has risen to such prominence over the last year?
Well, since I'm from Florida, maybe I ought to start. I think he's very charismatic. He's done some good things. He did handle the pandemic very well in Florida, in my view. And I think he's made it very clear that if Trump does not run, he will seek the nomination.
What other folks think? Why has Ron DeSantis become such a topic of discussion?
He's very similar to Trump, I believe.
In what ways, Carrie?
He's not afraid to speak his mind. He doesn't cower down to the left.
I think there's a hunger for leaders who will push back against the dominant media, against big tech, and speak the truth.
He has very good leadership skills, and it's well thought out. His decisions have generally been very good.
Raise your hand if you think, under some circumstances, that you could imagine Ron DeSantis, if he were president, to be a unifying figure for the country. Raise your hand if you think he could be a unifying figure. All right, before Trump voters say yes. Raise your hand if you think that someday Ron DeSantis will be president of the United States. Raise your hand. All right, so the 4 Trump voters and the Floridian think that. Okay, I want to ask the 4 Trump voters to say something you feel negative about Ron DeSantis. Okay, and the 4 Biden voters, I want you to tell me something you feel positive about Ron DeSantis. Okay, see if we can pull this off. Kay, what's something you don't like about Ron DeSantis?
Oh, I can't say anything that I have not liked about him so far.
Okay, Carrie.
Be a bit brash.
A bit brash. Okay, Josh.
He misplaced the Sea of Galilee water for baptizing his kids.
Okay. And Linda.
I think he's a lot like Trump, and unfortunately, that's going to be problematic for some.
Oliver, what's something you like about Ron DeSantis?
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't really know that much about him to give an honest answer.
Okay, that's a good answer then. Nyla, what's something you don't like about Ron DeSantis?
His policies.
Okay, Kimberly?
There's nothing I like about him because he's not a unifier.
Okay, and Rusty?
I think he's a very decisive person, whether you agree with his policies or not.
Yep.
I want to go around and ask you all for one name each. If Donald Trump is not the Republican nominee for 2024, and if Ron DeSantis isn't, who's someone who you think, regardless of whether you like them or not, whether you'd vote for them, who's someone you think might be the Republican nominee in 2024? If it's not Trump or DeSantis, Kay?
Tom Cotton.
Tom Cotton. Okay. Carrie?
Cruz.
Ted Cruz. Josh?
Christine Neom, no aim. No.
Okay. Linda?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Okay. That makes you like a normal person. That's good. Oliver?
Probably Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. Okay. Kimberly?
I was going to say the former governor of South Carolina.
Okay. Nikki Haley?
Nikki Haley.
Nyla?
She'd be good.
Not good.
Yeah, okay. And Rusty?
Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley. All right. Last question. Tell me who you think the Democratic nominee for president will be in 2024. Who the Democratic nominee for president will be in 2024. Kay?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
I
Linda?
don't know.
Did you say me?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't thought that far ahead either.
Kimberly?
Kamala.
Nyla?
I think it's going to be Biden.
Biden. Okay. Oliver?
I would think Kamala Harris.
Okay. Rusty?
Kamala Harris.
Josh?
Hillary.
Hillary. All right. Carrie?
Good one, Josh.
Carrie?
Kamala.
Okay. We're going to take a break, everyone. When we come back, we're going to talk about Capitol Hill and Congress right after this.
Hey, Mom, if I could talk, what would I tell you? I'd tell you I love our walks and jumping up to play. We do everything together, huh, Mom? I guess what I really want to say is thanks for giving me Cosequin all these years so I can stay right by your side.
Keep them moving with Cosequin Joint Health Supplements, the #1 vet-recommended retail brand and official joint health supplement of the Westminster Dog Show.
I'm a member of American Home Shield, which means this faucet may be freaking out, but I'm not.
Something's wrong with my AC. It's blowing pretty hard and it won't turn off. Luckily, I'm a member of American Home Shield. My plan helps cover the cost when parts of more than 20 home appliances and systems wear out. If they can't repair them, they'll replace them.
I've never felt so good.
For a free quote, go to ahs.com. That's ahs.com.
Stay tuned to get 2 tack pens free. You heard that right. Free.
Everybody has a flashlight, but can your flashlight fit in your pocket? Light up the night super bright? And even save your life in an emergency? This one can. Nick Bolton here to tell you about the newest tack light innovation, the Bell & Howell Tack Pen. That's right, we made a tack light the size of a pen, yet without sacrificing any features. Visible up to 2 nautical miles away, has a disorienting defensive strobe, zooms in to focus its beam wherever you want, and won't quit even in the most bitter cold or extreme heat. And yes, it survived getting run over by my Humvee. Try that with a regular flashlight. Because it's so slim, it's easy to take with you, and it has a few new features you'll love, like an emergency escape tool that can shatter glass. It even has a built-in multi-tool for quick fixes. And oh yeah, it's actually a working pen. So let's review. The Bell & Howell Tack Pen has all the great features of our tack light. The same durability you come to expect. Clips to your pocket so you can take it anywhere, can help you make quick repairs or break a window in an emergency. It even functions like a regular pen. There's just nothing like it on the market today.
Act now to get your Bell & Howell Tack Pen for just $19.99. Tack Pen is the only working pen and super bright tack light featuring zoom and defensive strobe functions. Plus, it features genuine Bell & Howell craftsmanship, backed by our 10-year warranty. Order today and you can get 2 additional tack pens absolutely free. That's right, for a limited time only, you can get 3 tack pens for one low price, just $19.99. Get yours today.
To order, call 1-800-957-0056 or go to buytackpen.com. That's 1-800-957-0056, or you can order online at buytackpen.com.
Closed captioning brought to you by Pray.com, the #1 app for daily prayer and bedtime Bible stories.
Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God. Believe also in me.
Download the Pray.com app today.
It's our America. We built it. Courage, freedom. Millions go to Newsmax when they need to know. Start today on the free Newsmax app. Newsmax is real news for real people.
Welcome back. As always, when Washington is active, Capitol Hill is getting a fair amount of attention. Several months into the Biden administration, Congress is dealing with what has become relatively typical gridlock and lots of partisan division in the wake of the events of January 6th and the back and forth over the Biden legislative agenda. Many people are expressing unhappiness, not too uncommon, with Congress. So, folks, I want to go around and ask you all first, just 1 or 2 words. What's your view of Congress right now? What's your view of Congress right now? 1 or 2 words. Carrie.
Divided.
Divided. Josh.
Dysfunctional.
Rusty.
Irresponsible.
All right. Nayla.
Splintered.
Kimberly.
Unproductive.
Linda.
Unproductive.
Oliver.
Ineffective.
Kay.
Ineffective with blinders on.
All right. So just to confirm here, raise your hand if you have a generally positive view of Congress right now. Generally positive view. All right. Nobody has a generally positive view. Okay. Let's shift now to talk about your representatives in Congress. You're a member of the House, you're 2 senators. Raise your hand if you have a generally positive view of your representation in Congress, of your own representatives. Raise your hand if you have a generally positive view. All right. So that is, raise them up if you're going to vote yes, even if you're shaking your hand. If you're generally positive, raise your hand and keep it up. All right. So that's most of you have a generally positive view. Kay, how do you explain that? Why do you like your folks, but not Congress as a whole?
I am getting consistent newsletters from my representatives, and they are standing for the beliefs of the majority of the Idahoans.
Other folks have a positive view of your representatives. Tell me why you like your representatives, even though you think Congress as a whole isn't doing a good job.
My representative is Kathy Castor, and the Castor family has been very good in the Tampa Bay area for years, and she does a good job with her constituents.
Okay. Other folks? Carrie, tell me about your representatives, why you like them.
So Ralph Norman, he's my representative, and he's a go-getter. He fights. He definitely looks out for his constituents, and I honestly think he does try to work for everyone, not just his party.
Right. I want to go around and ask you all, is there something that you think could be reformed or changed that would allow Congress to do a better job, allow Congress to be more productive, something that you would like to see changed? Linda.
Stop spending so much money.
Okay. Kimberly?
Term limits.
Term limits. Raise your hand if you'd support term limits for members of Congress.
I do.
All right, so that's 7 of you support term limits. Nala, what's something you'd like to see changed to make Congress more efficient, more productive?
I think the overall culture. I think that right now, regardless of what side that you're on, it's become so extreme that the space at the middle that used to be, the genesis of real legislative conversations and to kind of think through what are solutions to the problems we're trying to solve. It's just not there anymore because everything is so extreme on both the left and the right.
Yeah.
Oliver, what's something you think Congress should make a change in?
Basically, to try to get money out of politics, specifically the PAC money and then the dark money. I think that those are incredibly detrimental to productivity.
Josh?
I think that just like military officers, when they take command, they have a course in the Constitution and the UCMJ. I think Congress needs to have every year an annual course on the Constitution.
Totally agree with that. Yes.
And the Bill of Rights, for that matter.
I want to ask you all about the 4 congressional leaders and see what you think of them. Show of hands. Raise your hand if you've got a generally favorable view as opposed to a generally unfavorable view of Nancy Pelosi. Raise your hand if you have a generally favorable view of Nancy Pelosi. All right, that's 1 of you. Okay. 2 of you. Okay. Raise your hand if you have a generally favorable view of Senator Schumer, the Democratic leader. Raise your hand if you have a general favorable view. Senator Schumer. All right, that's none of you. Raise your hand if you have a generally favorable view of Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in the House of Representatives. All right, there's 1 of you. And raise your hand if you have a 2 of you. Okay. And raise your hand if you have a generally favorable view of Mitch McConnell. Raise your hand. All right, so that unites us here on this panel. None of you, 4 Trump voters, 4 Biden voters, none of you have a favorable view of Mitch McConnell. So let's go around. Tell me 1 or 2 words what you think of Mitch McConnell. Josh.
I think he's slimy part of the swamp. I mean, he's supposed to
slimy
be
and part of the swamp. Okay.
Sorry.
Rusty, 1 or 2 words, Mitch McConnell.
Divisive.
Carrie.
He needs to retire.
Okay. Oliver.
Untrustworthy.
Kay.
I think he's got a lot done, but I think his motives are not what they used to be anymore.
Okay. Kimberly.
I think he has too much power and he's using it to our detriment.
Okay. Linda.
Out of touch.
Out of touch. All right. Interesting views of the 4 congressional leaders. I want to ask you all finally about the person who breaks ties in the Senate, Vice President Kamala Harris. I want to know what you all think of her. 1 or 2 words about the Vice President Harris. Nala, 1 or 2 words.
Indifferent.
Okay. Linda.
Untrustworthy.
Okay. Kimberly.
Game changer.
Rusty.
Loyal.
Josh.
Peter Principle.
Kay.
Untrustworthy.
Oliver.
Unimpactful.
Okay. And
Yes.
Carrie.
Unqualified.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to ask you, what's 1 thing you'd like Congress to get done this year? What's your top priority for Congress to get done this year? Carrie.
Put people back to work. Stop.
Okay. Oliver.
Infrastructure.
Okay. Kay.
Get people back to work, let people do what they do.
Okay. Kimberly.
I would say pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. That's what you need.
Josh.
Let people get back to work.
Okay. Rusty.
I think passage of the infrastructure bill would provide jobs.
Okay. Nyala.
Infrastructure.
Okay. Go ahead, Linda.
Stop shutting down American jobs.
Okay. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about cyber warfare right after this.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention! A popular commercial weed killer has been linked to Parkinson's disease. Farmers, farm workers, and anyone who worked with or lived near a farm where the weed killer was used may be at risk for Parkinson's disease. If you or a loved one were exposed to the weed killer and diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, you may be entitled to compensation. Call Sokolov Law, 1-800-960-5911 for a free legal consultation. 1-800-960-5911. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Look, cleaning the outside of your windows is a real chore. And who wants to climb a dangerous ladder just to get to the second floor? Not anymore. Hi, I'm John Florell, the Fuller Brush Man. And this is Full Crystal from the Fuller Brush Company. The fastest, easiest way to clean all of your windows in minutes, not days. Just add the cleaning crystals, attach it to any garden hose, and away you go. The secret is in the Fuller cleaning crystals that dissolve dust, dirt, pollen, and grime in no time. And here's the best part. You don't have to remove your screens because Full Crystal cleans them too. Watch what I'm gonna do. This screen may look clean, but look how Full Crystal blasts away the dust, pollen, dirt, and grime while it cleans your window at the same time. And that'll save you a ton of time. Look, even with the ladder, you couldn't reach that window. But with the Full Crystal Power Sprayer, you can clean windows up to 27 feet high. Simply aim, spray, and walk away, leaving your windows spot-free, streak-free, and with both feet securely on the ground. For a clean so clear, your windows will virtually disappear. Plus, it's completely safe for all of your plants, lawns, shrubs, and flowers. Call or go online now to order the complete Full Crystal system with enough cleaning crystals for up to 20 windows for the factory direct price of just $19.99. But order right now and we'll double the cleaning crystals. Enough for up to 40 windows, just pay a separate fee. Fuller cleaning crystals are made in the USA. And remember, it's from the Fuller Brush Company, so your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. Call or go online to buyfullcrystal.com. That's buyfullcrystal.com. And ask about Full Exterior to easily clean dirt and grime from all around the exterior of your house in no time. Order now.
When you're in debt, you can feel mighty alone. You're not. National Debt Relief could get you out of debt in as little as 24 to 48 months. Their certified debt specialists negotiate with your creditors to reduce what you owe. No bankruptcy, no loans, just real debt relief from real pros. Rated A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Get out of debt and get on with life. Go to nationaldebtrelief.com or call 1-800-423-7047.
When you don't properly maintain your sleep equipment, you could get sick. And so could your whole family. Sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning. And as a helpful complement to your daily routine, SoClean 2 can provide peace of mind. Order now and save $100. Visit SoClean.com.
Could you use more energy? New Total Beets from Force Factor help deliver heart-healthy energy, support blood pressure, and improve circulation with nitric oxide boosting nitrates. Great tasting Total Beets, our #1 cardiovascular health brand. Rush to Walmart for Total Beets.
With Realtor.com's affordability tool, I can find a new home with a mortgage that fits my budget. I love my new home. This is the best day of my afterlife.
Realtor.com, to each their home. Federal agencies urge every family to have an emergency radio. During any disaster, electrical power may get cut. The emergency radio gives you the vital information you need. Newsmax wants you to have the Dynamo Emergency Band Radio. It doesn't need batteries and works in any emergencies. It retails for $30. You can get it with the free offer. Call or go online and get the emergency radio today. Your life may depend on it.
Welcome back. We're here with our 4 people who voted for Donald Trump in the last election, 4 who voted for Joe Biden, and we're talking about cybersecurity. America has faced quite an attack over the last few weeks. The ones we know about have involved energy and meat production, as well as transportation. A lot of questions about how we can put a stop to this. So let's bring our group in, a couple of you with experience in technology and questions of security. And Josh, I'll start with you. I think you've got the biggest background in this area. How big a problem do you think this is? How big a threat do you feel this is to America, security, and America's way of life?
Potentially, it's a very big threat. Our critical infrastructure sectors are largely ill prepared for a focused nation state actor attack or cyber criminals, as we've seen.
What do other folks think? Nayala, tell me how worried you are about this.
I'm not concerned because I think, the recent situations have shown that we're really vulnerable here in America. And I think it's challenged, I know myself, to think about warfare in a very different way and the consequences that we're not necessarily prepared for or trained for.
I'm actually terrified, and I kind of think of it going a little further than just what they've been doing. It's if they can infiltrate with what they've been doing right now, what else can they do to us by doing this? I'm absolutely 100% terrified.
Kimberly, how worried are you, and what do you think could be done about it, if anything?
I work for a software reseller, and I'm kind of confused. Like, don't these companies, these are private companies, why don't they purchase software that would help them with this issue? I mean, we're going to back the economy. These people get tax breaks. Why can't they use their money to install the software that would assist them with these type of issues?
I think that is a great question.
So I'm just kind of confused. But if they're this meat company or this electric company, that's a problem, right? So why, if this company is doing so much, don't you think there's a software out there that could stop them?
My understanding that it's so expensive to do that some companies would just rather pay the consequences if they get breached.
Oh.
Carrie, do you see this as more of a government problem or more of a problem for private businesses?
I believe both.
And if it's the same country doing it, why aren't we having some kind of consequence for that one country that keeps doing it?
What kind of consequences do you think Russia should face for this, Linda?
Don't know, but something.
Something.
What's going on is tantamount to an act of war. And now the problem is there's nuclear weapons all around, so we can't go to war. But this is a very serious problem. I'm retired from a major computer company, and I can understand what Josh is saying. It's a very serious problem.
Raise your hand if you think this is a partisan issue. All right, so we finally found an issue that nobody thinks is partisan. Is this something that you think, where would you rank this in terms of the national security and economic threats to the United States? Where would you rank this? How high up, Oliver?
I'd rank it very high. Financially, I think the gas pipeline closure demonstrated that. But the other thing that concerns me is right now they're just asking for money. What happens if a bad actor locks us down and says, we want you to release every one of our terrorists that you have holding, and we're not going to let you loose until that happens? That's something that concerns me.
What if it goes to the next stage, just as Oliver's saying?
It should be a high priority. At least for me, it's a high because of all the things, all the potential things that could happen. We don't know what they're capable of. We know what they've done, but we don't know how far it could go. And that terrifies me again.
Sanctions appear to not have worked with Russia. So what do you do next?
Well, I just want to go back to the partisan aspect. It isn't a partisan issue, but it's being used as a partisan issue when we have attribution to Russia, when it is mind-numbingly difficult to make attribution who the actors were, because anybody can pay for a VM, a virtual machine that they use to attack. And it looks like it's coming from wherever. So I'm not going to go into a deep dive on it, but it is mind-numbingly difficult, the challenge that security practitioners face.
Just to close out here, I want to ask you all to go around and tell me what you think this is, how big a threat you think this is to the United States. How would you describe how big a threat cyber terrorism is to the United States right now in 1 or 2 words? Kay?
One of our biggest threats.
Okay. Nyla?
It's a severe threat for sure.
Okay. Linda?
One of the most concerning.
Okay. Kimberly?
I would say like number 2.
Number 2. Okay. After what, Kimberly?
Education.
Okay. Carrie?
Major threat.
Oliver?
Significant.
Josh?
It's major, but we're a nation of innovators and problem solvers. We'll fix it.
I hope Josh is right and they'll fix it.
They'll fix it. All right. Good to end on an optimistic note about something that I believe is one of the most serious threats we face, without a doubt. And I think there's a lot more of this going on than gets reported. Thank you all for participating. Really happy to have you as part of the program this week. You can watch this show every weekend right here on Newsmax TV on Saturday and then again on Sunday. And if you'd like to participate in a future episode like these folks did today, you can send us an email at focusgroup@walkingduck.com. That's focusgroup@walkingduck.com. So what did we learn? Well, I learned that Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, is still someone who people think about pretty broadly as a potential presidential candidate. And both Democrats and Republicans see him as being similar to Donald Trump. And they see that as a double-edged sword, some positives in terms of his political future, but also some caution. Second, I learned on the issue of Congress, not a lot of popularity amongst the leadership in Congress or Congress overall, but people in both parties like their own representatives. That's something we've seen over the years, but it's striking to see just how much there is about agreement. People don't like Congress. Mitch McConnell in particular doesn't seem to be very popular, but they do like, in many cases, their own representatives. And then finally, on the question of cybersecurity, bipartisan concern, people across the board rate this as a very dangerous threat to American security, concern about how to stop it, and a belief that both government and the private sector have to play a role in trying to fix this very thorny issue. That's all the time we have for today. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you again next weekend right here on Newsmax TV.